how I caught my ex-husband cheating. I had gotten on the computer and was getting ready to play a game. I don't know what I was playing, but the computer was acting funky, so I did a disk cleanup, disk defragment, and it asks you, do you want to view or delete the files? 100% of the time, I always deleted and moved on. For whatever reason, that day in 2003, it was long ago, I clicked view, and up pops a webpage called swappernet.com. What is that? Well, it's a swingers site. What's a swinger? Well, Google helped me learn what that was, and I navigated through the website, and I thought, well, maybe my husband has a profile on there. Let me see. So I clicked on it, and it asked for a screen name and password, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? Am I going to have to create a profile and then try to search or what? So I just kind of looked around for a little bit, and would you believe, on the computer desk right next to the mouse was what looked like a screen name and password. Well, what have I got to lose? Let me try and plug it in. So I plug it in, and guess what happens? Boop. His profile, his picture from when we went on our cruise to the Caribbean. He was in St. Thomas holding a coconut. That was him. That's the only image that he had, but it says he lived in Vandalia. We lived in Tip City. First call October 11th, expires 11/10. Was that free 30-day pass or something like that? He's browsed 126 profiles. He sent 56 letters. He's received 7. He's replied to 56, and he's been on 6 times. He's male, he's Caucasian, and then the next page. I had to do quick math. He was actually 32. Hair, auburn, hazel, safe sex, always, experience. He's been doing this several months. He enjoys threesomes with a female. He wants to meet others via swing club. His looks good looking. Doesn't smoke. Type of swinger, anything but pain. Age looking for, not older than 40. He will travel to you. He will not meet single males, but will meet single females. How does he describe himself? I'm a people person. I have an easygoing personality and get along with most everybody. I make those around me feel comfy, cozy. I'm 5'9.5", and I have a goatee. I enjoy sports. I like friendly swinger clubs. What does he like sexually?
I'm really scared that TikTok is going to ban me for this, so you can pause and read it if you want.
That excludes me. His wife. So I printed this stuff out because I knew in that moment we were getting divorced. So printed, made extra copies and hid them throughout the house until I had access to better opportunity to hide them outside the house. And I called my best friend and I told her exactly what I had just read and whatnot. And she's just kind of like, yeah, it's time for you to go. The relationship was horrible. I can't say enough bad things about it and about my relationship with him, that this was just the icing on the cake. Gotcha. So anyway, I held on to this for a couple weeks. I did my research. He said he likes to meet people at a swingers club, so I Googled it. Swinger clubs in Dayton, Ohio, and up popped 2. So I wrote down the addresses. I went to one. It looked like, they both look shady, but, I didn't see anything. And this is the second one that I saw. It was closer to our house, which made me think that that's where he was going. And the parking lot was crazy full the day that I went. I knew it was the sex club or the Dayton Swim Club because it had waves painted in the window. There was no signs or anything like that, but there were like ocean waves kind of painted on the window. One night while out, we went to dinner with my father, and my ex-husband gave me his credit card. Of course, you know, all my money went into his account, so I didn't have any. So he gave me his credit card and told me to go buy the kids something at the mall and then come home, put them to bed. So I did. On the way home, it was dark. It was probably because, you know, I saw my family. It was like 8 or 9 o'clock, and I drove by this swim club. And would you believe that I saw my ex-husband's car in the parking lot? So I pulled into the parking spot, found a space near there. I hopped out, and I went and I looked in the car, and in the console was his wedding band. How convenient. So I went home as normal, put the kids to bed. We went to sleep. I had to go work that night, and I worked nights, so I was just waiting for him to come home. By the time my alarm went off to go and get ready for work, he wasn't home. So I called his cell phone. He didn't pick up. I called multiple times. He didn't pick up, and then I was like, well, you know, he'll call me back. I continued to get ready, and now it's time for me. I gotta go. So I called him again, no answer. I ended up having to call my sister-in-law and said, hey, he's not home. Can you come and watch the kids? I don't know what's going on. So she came over. The kids were asleep, and I said, just stay there until he comes home. I don't know what's going on. I went on to work, snuck my cell phone in. We weren't allowed to, but I snuck it in. And for good measure, I called local hospitals to see if maybe he had been a patient there. They told me no, and I went on to work, and then about an hour or two later, he calls me, and I'm like, where were you? He said, I was at the casino, which was over an hour drive, like an hour and a half drive from us. And he's like, I am so sorry. I thought it was Saturday, not Friday night, and that you had to go to work. And I said, oh, okay. Yeah, so he made it home, and then I went home after work. I only worked part-time, so when I went home, I slept on the couch because I did not want to see him. It's time to confront him.